YouTube. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. Happy Saturday. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Abri. Let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Sassy. Good morning, Chris. Let me know where you're jumping in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning, Jack. Good morning, Emra. Good morning, Mike. Let me know where you're coming in from. I love to know why you're on social media. I live on the, good morning, Natasha. Good morning, much love, XOXO. What do people call you? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. Good morning, Straw Stacker. What do people call you? Happy Saturday. Let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. Good morning, Teresa. And if anybody wants to be honest and divulge, how much time a day do you spend on social media? I had a guy earlier this week that he said he spends 6 hours a day on social media. Good morning, Aha, and I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. Good morning, Image JJ. What do people call you? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I get people on these lives and on my social media accounts from all over the world. So drop me a comment. Let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Anthony. I'd love to know why you're on social media. That's one question a lot of people don't want to answer. And the other one is, how much time a day do you spend on social media? I had a guy on who, well, he's being honest and saying he spends 6 hours a day on social media. Good morning, you Dever, and I'm not saying that correctly. Good morning, Noli. Um, if you're spending 6 hours a day, I think that's a lot of time to spend on social media. Good morning, Don's. Good morning, user 2101. Good morning, Mia. Good morning, Island King. Good morning, Mary. I think that's a lot of time to spend on social media. I have a business and I don't spend that much time. One of my few hours that I do spend, I do these live streams every day, and I live stream for an hour on TikTok and YouTube. Good morning, Denise. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, David. Good morning, Anthony. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. So where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. Good morning, Marianne. Last month was my 14-year anniversary in this industry. I have not worked a job in over 9 years. Good morning, Lily. I started doing this after it was August 14 years ago. I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. Worst job market ever. People were getting 1,500 resumes. Good morning, Barbara. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Worst job market ever. Good morning, Baron. Couldn't find a job. Ended up being broke, unemployed, and foreclosure. I was drowning in $250,000 of debt. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Techno Wolf. What do people call you? Drowning in $250,000 of debt. I had no idea how I was going to get myself out of this mess. And I found this industry. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Cindy. I do believe that I probably wouldn't still have my house if it wasn't for this industry. I mean, I lost a lot of other things because I went for such a long period of time. I didn't have a job. I couldn't find one. I had no money coming in. You start burning through your savings. Good morning. Is it most scary? What do people call you? Good morning, David. Let me know where you're coming in from. I've had days in this industry where I've made more money in a single day than I made in a whole year, in a whole month when I was working a job. Good morning, joined. There's just a little couple of smiley faces, no name. What do people call you? Good morning, user 897. Today I was going to talk about how to launch a profitable business in 5 steps. And I know when I started this, I didn't have anything. I didn't know anyone. I mean, I literally went to Google, and TikTok's not cooperating today. Because TikTok automatically turns the mirror thing on, and it doesn't do it correctly. But these are 5 steps. I didn't have any of this when I started. I didn't know anybody. I literally went to Google and searched make money online. But the 5 steps, the first one is you need an automated freedom machine, because there are people on social media. You're using social media, but you're not sending people to anything. And if you're just sending people to a page with information or a replicated website or a sales page, you only have one opportunity to talk to them. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Armin. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Maria. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If anybody wants to like my video, I'd really appreciate it. That helps my accounts out. Um, Good morning, Suzanne. Um, well, it depends. I have Suzanne on YouTube saying everybody must be sleeping. Well, since this is worldwide and it's the internet and social media, I get people from all over the world on these. And I get people from the Philippines, the United Kingdom, Nigeria, South Africa, Germany, Australia, Canada. So there's all different time zones that people are living in. So it really doesn't matter. I could live stream at 3 a.m. in the morning where I'm at. That's one of the things because I have a global reach. I can reach people from all over the world. So this is 5 steps to a profitable business. You need an automated freedom machine. I did not have that because if you're using social media and you're sending people to just a page with information or a sales page, you only have one opportunity to talk to them. You want to send them to a website, a capture page, a landing page, a squeeze page. They're all the same thing, and get their email address and get them on your email list where you have attached emails that are automatically set up to go out for you. That runs 24/7. That's where the automation comes in. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Happy. Good morning, Nana. Good morning, Meg. Good morning, Fast Cars. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, good morning, Digital Diva. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I did not have this. It's an automated freedom machine and if you're sending people to anything other than like a capture page and not getting their email address, you've got a missing step because you can only talk to them once and then they're gone. You want to get people on an email list. You own the email list, you control it. You don't own or control any of your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. I've lost 10 TikTok accounts. I had 3 Instagram accounts I lost. And you have to start over again if you want to use that platform. So you need an automated freedom machine. The second thing is need to make 100% profit with a digital product. And digital products right now are doing like 3 trillion a day, and that's expected to grow even more over the next couple years. Um, and you want to get a piece of a pie, and if it's not 100%, it's not a digital product and it's not in a high demand. You want to something that is in high demand, that people it's going to solve a problem. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Patty. Where are you coming in from? I'm on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning, Brandon. Where are you coming in from? Good morning, Tracy. But you want something that you can make 100% profit. It's digital and it's in high demand. And if you're not in one of the 3 biggest niches, good morning, Ryan. Um, and somebody left some not inappropriate comments. If TikTok blocked them, TikTok sends me a message. Good morning, Daybreak. Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Evelyn. So that's the second thing. The third thing is you need a discovery method. And if you're on social media, you have the opportunity to get in front of 5 billion people. And you can do that for free. So there's plenty of people that you can get in front of, and you can do it for free, but you need to learn how to use social media correctly. But I'm using social media, and we have a community of over 56,000 people. We're all using social media for free. Good morning, Phil. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, T-Boat. Where are you coming in from? You can do paid advertising, but if you don't know what you're doing, you might not get a good return on your investment. My mentors use this method. It's her method. It's a 2-hour workday blueprint. She's made $8 million in the last 3 years and didn't spend any money on paid ads. Good morning, Edward. Good morning, Looking Glass. What do people call you? Good morning, Tara. Good morning, Chris. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. But you need a discovery method. You can use social media, because there's so many people, and a lot of people are doing that. But that's number 3. Number 4, you need to learn who your perfect customer is. And I'll give you a hint with that. Good morning, Jackie. It's probably a younger version of you. And finding a perfect customer is something you need to work on, because if you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one. Good morning, Alma. Good morning, Beth. Good morning, Dulcie. Good morning, Gladiator. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. So if you don't, and that's something that can take some time for you to work on until you figure out who your perfect customer is. And then the last one, you need a CTA, which is a call to action. You need to tell people what to do. And that is what can turn into money if you're doing this and you're following. I have a blueprint. I have a free PDF that goes into more detail about all of this. If you go to my website, payudaily.com, you'll get an email from me with a link in it that has the free PDF. You can download and save that. That's yours to keep. But my website's payudaily.com. If you're on my TikTok account, you can go to my profile. There's a bio there, and there's a link with my website. You can click on that, put your email address in, watch the 2 videos. You'll get an email from me with a link with the free PDF that goes into more detail about these 5 steps. It's a proven blueprint that my mentors used, and many of us are using it successfully. It's a 2-hour workday. You can get this down to 2 hours. If you're new, it may take you longer than that in the beginning because when you're trying to learn something, the more you do it, the better you get, the faster you get. Good morning, Beauty and the Beast. What do people call you? Good morning, TGW. Good morning, Jules. Good morning, Chaprata. If I'm not saying that correctly, I apologize. Good morning, William. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning, Manzi. Love to know why you're on social media. How much time a day do you spend on social media? Because I had a guy earlier this week that he told me he spends 6 hours a day on social media. That's a lot of time. When I'm on social media, my time's productive, and I probably spend maybe 3 hours a day. One of these hours is me doing this live stream. Good morning, Manzi. Good morning, Scott. That's a lot of time, and he's just scrolling on social media. When I'm on social media, I'm making money. In fact, TikTok pays me to do these live streams. You can turn your social media profile into an ATM. And when I ask people, well, why are you on social media? And hardly anybody ever answers that. I do believe most of you are either looking for a way to make money from home or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. Good morning, Bravo. Good morning. Is it Mandy? Mandy, you're from South Africa. Okay. I've had other people from South Africa get on these, people from Nigeria, the Philippines, the United States, Canada, Australia, the UK. I have a customer actually from Sweden. So you get people all over the world to get on these. And I have Suzanne over here on my YouTube channel was saying most people are sleeping. Really, that's not true. I mean, it is 10:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time where I live, but this is global. It's all over the world. And there's people on this 24/7. I could live stream at 3 a.m. in the morning and I get a different group, but at 3 a.m. in the morning where I'm at, it's like 3 p.m. someplace else. Thank you. Is it Blue Channel 185? Thank you for liking the live. I really appreciate that. If anybody else wants to like the live, I appreciate it. It helps my accounts out, whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel. TikTok does show me that, and I can see when people are coming on TikTok. YouTube does not show me that. So, good morning, Winnie. If you don't, if you're on my YouTube live and you don't comment, I can't see that you're there. Good morning, Susie. And you just got Blue Channel 185. You got a #1 gift badger. TikTok does do that. Good morning, Digital Diva. TikTok does do that, and at the top of the live stream, you can see you're in the Philippines. Okay. Had somebody, Manzi's in South Africa and you're in the Philippines. Okay. Because in the Philippines, it's about, isn't it after 10 p.m. there? Good morning, Nana. There's a lot of people that get on here from the Philippines. I do business with a company that's in Singapore that they're 12 hours ahead of us. So it's like 10:07 a.m. Eastern time where I'm at. It's like 10:07 p.m. In Singapore right now. Good morning, Mom. What do people call you? And I'm sure your kids call you Mom. But where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. Good morning, Montavana. Good morning, Nellie. I started doing this. It was 14 years ago in August. I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. There were like people were getting 1,500 resumes for one position. The job market was the worst job market I've ever seen. I never had trouble getting a job. I looked for a year, I couldn't find one, and one I eventually found was $12.50 an hour in a call center, which is way less than what I was making. Good morning, the mom. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Somebody just sent me a flash goal. Thank you. I don't know if that was Blue G Channel 185 or not, but thank you, and thank you for liking the live. Good morning, Racy. And I didn't know anyone. I literally went to Google. I searched make money online. I bought a website, Good Morning Crystal. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have anybody to ask. They sent me a 3-page PDF about setting up pay-per-click ads, which I did. And I spent a year and I spent $3,000 in pay-per-click ads. And then whatever I spent on the website, which I don't even remember, I did that for a year. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have training. I didn't have a system. I didn't make any money. And I knew after a year I needed to get around somebody. Good morning, Kathy, that had done what I wanted to do. So I can learn from them because success leaves clues. You want to model what's already proven to work. And I did that for a year. And you definitely need a system, you need a mentor, and you need training. And I didn't have any of those things. And as a result, I didn't make any money. So I can save anybody time. And I knew somehow people were making money on the internet. And I think it was God telling me because I didn't know anyone. Good morning, GM. Then I ended up on Facebook. I joined a company. That was the first thing I ever joined. That company's not around anymore. But I started meeting more people because you need to get around people that are on the same path that you're on. Thank you again for liking the live. I really appreciate it. Good morning, June. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Joshua. Thanks for jumping on. And I am live streaming on 2 places. So I am going back and forth. And TikTok does show me when people are coming on. And now Blue Channel 185, thank you for liking the live. I really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to like it, I know it's showing me now you've liked it at least 5 or 6 times in the last minute or so. So thank you so much. That helps my account out. I can't see when somebody likes it on YouTube. When I end this live stream, I can go and see how many likes are on it, but it doesn't show me who. But thank you, whether you're on my YouTube channel or you're on my TikTok account. I appreciate that. Good morning, Inclusive. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, The Wiz. What do people call you? How much time do you spend a day on social media? That's a question that most people don't want to answer. I did have a guy earlier this week that he was being honest, and says he spends 6 hours a day on social media. That's a lot of time. And I have a business. I don't spend that much time. I've got my time down to about 3 hours a day. And one of these hours is I'm live streaming, like what I'm doing right now. So I'm not spending, and he's not getting paid for it. That's 6 hours of scrolling. That's a lot of time. I do think you can get addicted. You can say you're only going to get on for 15, 20 minutes, and then it turns into 30, and then an hour. Good morning, TFS. Then 2 hours, 3 hours, and all this time has gone by. And that's a lot of time to spend scrolling on social media. Why not get paid for it? You can turn your profile into an ATM. You can turn your phone into an ATM because most of this stuff you can do from your phone. Good morning, Brett. Now, not everything I do. Good morning, Sandy. And because I'm live streaming in 2 places, I am on my MacBook Pro and my phone, because you do need, if you're going to stream in more than one place, you need multiple devices, because so you can see who's coming on and making comments and stuff. Good morning. Is it Florida? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. But yeah, 6 hours a day on social media, that's a lot. And there's a lot of people scrolling on social media. And yeah, there's a lot of information you can consume. But that's not going to, scrolling on social media is never going to make any money. Good morning, Jordan. You're in Louisiana and you're a trucker. Okay, well, welcome. Thanks for jumping on. Had another guy on my TikTok live that he was a trucker. His name was Hank. He was telling me he's working 2 jobs. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of people working 2 jobs because they're struggling to try to make ends meet. I know every time I go to the grocery store, I could buy the exact same thing and it costs more than the last time. The cost of food, whether you're grocery shopping or eating out. Good morning, 567. Denise, if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I could go to a restaurant and eat something, and then a week or 2 later, go back and get the same thing, and it costs more. And a lot of people are hurting. Good morning, Anthony. And it's really hard to work. I mean, I know Denise, you're from New York State. Okay. Good morning, Anthony. I've done that in my life. I was working a full-time and a part-time job and put myself through school at night, and it's exhausting. And when you do have a day off, I mean, I know I was so exhausted. I'd sleep till like 4 o'clock. Blue D channel 185, you're saying, I have something to do. Take care. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate you jumping on. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you have any questions, good morning, Angela. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I was laying this out. This is a 5 step to launch a profitable business. I have a free PDF. It's at my website, payudaily.com. It goes into that in much more detail. That's yours to keep. If you go to my website, payudaily.com, put your email address in, you'll get an email from me with the free PDF that's yours to keep. You can download it, you can save it. That's the blueprint I'm using. And I kind of just gave you the 5 of the steps of that, but the PDF goes into a lot more detail. So if anybody wants the free PDF, go to payudaily.com. If you're on my TikTok account, it is in, if you go look at the top of my profile, there's a bio there. There's some writing and a link. That's my website. It's payudaily.com. So you can do that if you're on my TikTok account. Otherwise, you can just put in your browser payudaily.com. And Bluedy Channel 185, you said you were going and now you're liking again. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Anybody else wants to like the live, that helps my account out. And TikTok shows me when somebody does it. Good morning, Little Bear. Where are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States, and I get, there's people on here from South Africa, the Philippines. I get people on these live streams and on my social media accounts from all over the world. So you've got like over 5 billion people. And most of you are on social media for something. You can use social media for free to get exposure to it. And a lot of you, when I say why you're on social media, most people don't want to answer that. And the other question people really don't want to answer is, how much time a day do you spend on social media? Good morning, Apple user 335. Good morning, Jenny. Where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. I was just going over the 5 steps today to launch a profitable business, which I have a free PDF that goes into more detail of that. You can go to payudaily.com and get that. You'll get an email from me that's yours to keep. You can download and save it. Good morning, Brenda. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. I do believe most of you are on social media because you're either looking for a way to make money from home or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And this is something actually, it can completely change your life. I started doing this after I lost my job because I couldn't find another one. Good morning, Mel. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. TikTok shows me who's jumping on the activity when people like the live. YouTube does not. So if you don't comment and you're on my YouTube live, I can't shout you out. Good morning, John. Good morning, Zakilib. Where are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm about 2.5 hours from New York City. Good morning, Lee. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If anybody has any questions or there's something you would like some help with, drop in the comments. Good morning, Sugar Love. What do people call you? And if there's something you're trying to figure out and I haven't done it, I'd be more than willing to do a training on it. But if I haven't done it, I don't think it's ethical to train on stuff you haven't done. But I can probably give you a resource. I had somebody that came on here that he wanted me to do a video about CPA marketing. I know what that is. I've never made money with it. I have an idea of how it works, but I haven't really done it. So good morning, Gloria. I was able to give him some resources because if you're trying to figure something out, you want to get around somebody who's done it so you can learn from them because you want to model what's already proven to work. Success leaves clues and you can't. And I know I tried for a whole year when I started this and I didn't make any money. Good morning, Tanya. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have any training. I didn't have anybody to ask anything. And we have a whole community of like over 56,000 people that we're all on the same path. Good morning, Lance. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. Somebody just sent a TikTok universe to somebody. TikTok shows I have these things flashing across the top of my phone. Good morning, Deb. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. I was going over today how to launch a profitable business in 5 steps. I didn't quickly go over the 5 steps. I have a free PDF that breaks down the whole blueprint. If anybody wants it, you can go to payudaily.com. You'll get an email from me. Good morning, Jack. With the free, there's a link there with the free PDF. You can download it. You can save it to your computer. It's yours to keep. Good morning, Nisa. Good morning, Nikita, Maxi. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, love to know why you're on social media, where you're coming in from. Anybody has a question, drop in the comments. If you're trying to figure something out, I'd be glad to do a training on one of these if it's something I've done. If it's not something I've done, I don't think it's ethical to train or teach on stuff you haven't done. So good morning, HGS Factory. Is that what your account's about? What do people call you? Thank you again, Blue Channel 185 for liking the live. I really appreciate it. That helps my accounts out. If anybody else wants to like the live, good morning, Dolores, whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel, I'd appreciate it. It helps my account out. And TikTok kind of likes that. I mean, TikTok has all these things that YouTube doesn't have. I mean, I like both platforms for different reasons. I've been on YouTube since 2013. I got on TikTok in 2020. And when I started, actually, this whole thing, short video wasn't even around. Good morning, is it Kino? If I'm not saying that correctly, I apologize. Where are you jumping in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I get people from all over the world on these. From Philippines, Nigeria, South Africa, United Kingdom, Australia, Canada. This really does give you exposure. Good morning, Mrs. Kelly, or can I just call you Kelly? From all over the world, and I've had an opportunity. Some of them I've actually met them at a live event, met them online first, and then at a live event. And COVID kind of, good morning, Gigi. COVID kind of put a damper in the live events. Good morning, Thomas. Because of the lockdown and all that, they started offering virtual options. Good morning, John. And for a lot of people, I know the first event I went to, I live on the East Coast, and this was in San Diego. That cost me like $3,000 to go to that. Good morning, Evelyn. Good morning. Is it Tomar? Tomar, man, what do people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Evelyn, you just got a number one gift badger. Thank you for the fan club. I really appreciate it. Yeah, just said, and you just sent me a heart. Thank you so much. And you got the number one gift badger. And that is Evelyn, you're in Costa Rica. A friend of mine, she just came back from there. She got back on Wednesday, the 15th. Good morning, Blue. Yeah, I love our community too. We've got a great community of over 56,000 people. We're all on the same path because you don't have to do this alone. And then if you need help, you can go into our group and ask questions. We've got live interactive trainings each week. And I've been doing this for 14 years. Good morning, Lurzy. And there's nothing I've ever been involved with that has an interactive training. Yeah, there's videos you need to go through too, but an interactive training is when my mentor gets on, does a training, and then she breaks us out into smaller groups of like 4 or 5 people. And you do some more stuff with the training, and then she comes back and takes questions. And I've seen her stay on for hours answering everyone's question. Good morning, Reds. And I have to say, I've been involved with a lot of things. I was involved with 16 companies that aren't even around anymore. The way she pours into people, and she will. I have seen her stay on and answer. There could be 3 or 4 people on. 300 or 400 people on this training, and she stays on and answers everybody's question. Good morning, nobody, 135-676. What do people call you? So that's an interactive training. Most programs don't have that. You'll just be spending a lot of time on going through videos. Now, they may have some live Zoom trainings, but they're not breaking people out like she does. And we do use Zoom too. Good morning, John. Zoom has gotten very popular, especially since COVID. A lot of people that had things that they were bringing groups of people together, and they were doing that in person. They couldn't do it anymore. So Zoom got really popular. You just got a number one gifter badge. Nobody. Hello to you. Where are you coming in from? Good morning, Helen. But that's what interactive is. And there isn't any other program. Yeah, some of them have live trainings. You can get on and ask questions. Good morning, Simona. live trainings, but they're not interactive where she's breaking people out in groups like that. I haven't, and I've been doing this for 14 years. I haven't seen any program that I've been involved with, and I've been involved with 16 companies that aren't around anymore. So good morning. Is it Natalie? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. That is what's so different about our community. And we've got so many people. If you need help, you can come into the group anytime. Good morning, Kathleen. We're on a platform called schoolskool.com. It is a social media platform, but if you start a group, you do have to pay to use it, because I have like 3 groups on Facebook that I'm on the admin with. And I've had one group, I had over 60,000 people, and Facebook deleted it. And I've lost like 10 TikTok accounts and 3 Instagram accounts. You don't own your social media accounts. Good morning, Sandy. You can lose them at any time. That's why you want to build an email list. Good morning, Willie. So whatever you're doing on social media, I had somebody on here. She's got a nonprofit that supports women who've been victims of domestic violence. She's using social media to get exposure for it. Good morning, Norma. So there's people on here using social media, and some people, yeah, you're just scrolling, but there's others that've got something. It could be a nonprofit like she has a message. They have an offline or an online business that they're using social media for exposure. You want to learn how to use it correctly. Good morning, Scott. And there's a lot of people that don't know how to use social media. They're spamming their links all over the place. I mean, if you're taking a link to anything and spamming it on somebody's content, whether it's a video or a post, or you're private messaging people with a link to something, you're spamming them. And anybody that does that with me, I immediately block you. Anybody puts anything negative on mine. Good morning, Zach. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I just put too much time into this. I don't have time for it. But if you're doing that to people, you're spamming them. And yeah, you could go and do something and do it one by one. And if you're doing something, asking people if they're open, private messaging people, asking them if they're open to taking a look at what you're doing. And I've done a lot of that, but you want to ask somebody first if they're open to taking a look at something. You never want to send something to someone without permission. Good morning, Sergi. Good morning, Myra Floor. You want to ask them first. You never just want to send people something, because if you're just sending people something, that's spam. And you don't want to do that. And you can also get in trouble with that, whatever platform you're on. Because if you do that a lot, most of the platforms are going to block you for at least a while. If you're messaging a ton of people every single day, doesn't matter if it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. YouTube used to have a private message feature, but they took that away. They took that away over 5 years ago. You can't private message people on YouTube. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If anybody has any questions, drop them in the comments. If there's something you're trying to figure out, I was going over today. It's giving the 5 steps to start a profitable business. You can get more detail. My website's payudaily.com. I have a free PDF that breaks that down in more detail. If you go to good morning, Paul. If you go to my website, payudaily.com, put your email address in. There's a couple of videos to watch. A page. You will get an email from me with a link in it that's got the free PDF. If you click on that, you can download and save it to your computer. It's yours to keep. But that's what I was talking about this morning, the 5 steps to a successful online business. And that goes into a lot more detail. So if you want that, go to payudaily.com. Good morning. Is it Mesfin? Good morning, T. Zozo. What do people call you? Not everybody sets up their social media accounts using their name. I mean, I set that up because I branded myself. And if you're doing what I'm doing, you want to brand yourself. And I've seen people make mistakes of trying to do what I'm doing, and they'll set up a social media account. They'll use their real first name, but they won't put their real last name. They put the name of a company. You never want to do that. People join people, not companies. And there are quite a few people I see doing that. They're setting up a page around whatever it is that they're promoting. And you don't want to do that. Good morning, Zay. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. How much time do you spend on social media a day? There's a lot of people, and had a guy that told me earlier this week he spends 6 hours a day on social media. That's a lot of time. I mean, if you're scrolling, it's not productive. My time on social media is productive. In fact, TikTok pays me to do these live streams Good morning, Charlie. You can learn how to turn your social media profile into an ATM, turn your phone into an ATM. I started doing this after I lost my job, and that was 14 years ago in August. I couldn't find another job. Um, I was broke, unemployed, in foreclosure. Couldn't find a job. Had no idea how I was going to get myself out of this mess, and I found this industry. So, if anybody has any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm going to end this in a couple minutes, unless somebody's got some comments, a question, or there's something you would like some help with. I am here every day. I'd be glad to do. If you got something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to do a training about that. Not today, but you can drop in the comments. If it's something I've done, be happy to do a training. Good morning, Frederick, from Frederica. If it's not something I've done, um, I don't think it's ethical to train or teach on something you haven't done. But the reality is, I can probably give you a resource. I had somebody that got on here and wanted to learn about CPA marketing, which I've never done. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Claudio. Good morning, Lake. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Um, I don't think it's ethical, but I can most likely give you a resource. I know a lot of people. I've been doing this for a long time. Good morning, Danny. I know a lot of things. I don't know everything. But if I can't do a training, if it's not something I've done, I can give you a resource. Good morning, Pap and D. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. Nobody today has answered how much time do you spend on social media. Did have a guy that told me he spends 6 hours a day. That's a lot of time on social media. My time's productive. Good morning, Rosina, because I get paid for doing this. In fact, TikTok is paying me to do this live stream. So my time is productive, and I only spend about 3 hours a day. And an hour of that is me doing this live stream. Good morning, Pakuma. What do people call you? I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Suzanne. And a lot of you, and if anybody, we'll see if anybody wants to answer this. Good morning, Maura. How much time a day do you spend on social media? And I did have a guy, he says he spends 6 hours a day. That's a lot. Good morning, Naeem. You can be on social media making money. If you're scrolling, that's not an income producing activity. And I do think it can be addicting. Good morning, Joe. John, people get on, they say they're only going to stay on for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then that turns into half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And then all this time has gone by that you've spent on social media. And yeah, there's a lot of information you can consume. But 6 hours a day, I think that's a lot. And my time, good morning, Jamie. My time's productive because when I'm on social media, I'm making money. Good morning, Mark. And in fact, TikTok is paying me to do these live streams. You can get monetized on just about any platform. I'd be monetized on Instagram too, but they discontinued their program. They used to pay people for the views that you get on Reels, and they stopped that like in 2023. So you can, and I've learned to create multiple streams of income. The money I make from TikTok is another stream of income. Good morning, Maddie. I've been monetized on YouTube too. I'm trying to get that back because they'll pay you for actually just using the site. I mean, you do have to meet qualifications. On TikTok, you have to have at least 10,000 followers and have gotten at least 100,000 views. Good morning, Amy. In the last 30 days to qualify, and then they invite you to apply. Good morning, Sherry Ann. You do have to apply, and then once they're accepted, and that's with all of them. Now, YouTube's requirements are a little different. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, and then you can apply for it. So, I mean, most of them do pay you one way or another. And now I don't know if Facebook has changed because Meta owns Facebook and Instagram changed it. Good morning, Blue. Good morning, you guys. Aluminum. I'm going to assume you've got some sort of aluminum gig or business, and that's what your page is about. Good morning, Trish. But you can get them, most of them, they'll pay you. I mean, they want you to, and they're all businesses. They want you to keep people on the platform. Good morning, Vicky. And that's why when you get a video that people are coming to and liking and commenting, the platform sees that. And so what they end up doing is they push that video out to more people. Good morning, Homes Digital. They want they see that people are staying on it and watching it, so they push it out to more people. I've had a number of videos that did that, and I've got one on TikTok that actually I posted in the beginning of August. It's got 2.2 million views. They're still pushing it out because I'm still getting people going to the video, watching it, liking it, commenting on it. Um, good morning. I'm joined. Good morning, Derek Clue. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. What do people call you? Does anybody want to share how much time a day you spend on social media? My winner this week, and he's probably going to be a winner for a while. He did, just being honest, say he spends 6 hours a day on social media. Good morning, Angie. That's a lot of time on social media. I have a business and I don't spend that much time. Now I do these live streams, which I'm on for an hour every day. And I spend maybe about 3 hours a day on social media. GCND, good morning. Where are you coming in from? And most people, and I think that's why these lives are so popular. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Field Guy. Most people don't want to have to say anything or do anything, and you don't have to show your face. You can jump on it, and people are jumping on mine and then jumping on somebody else's and then jumping off that one and getting back like on mine or going to somebody else's. Good morning, Susie. And that's what people do. I mean, there is really no accountability. You could be laying on your couch with your phone jumping on somebody's live. You could actually be sitting on the toilet, for all anybody knows, and you're on somebody's live stream. Good morning, Jerry. So there's really no accountability. Good morning, Jams. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If anybody has any questions, I was going over how to launch a profitable business in 5 steps. I have a PDF that goes into more detail about that. If you want that, you can go to payudaily.com. That's my website. Get the free PDF. Good morning, Radius Land. Good morning, City 666-221. Good morning, man. What do people call you? A lot of people they don't put their names in their social media accounts. I've done that because I'm branding myself. Good morning, that kid. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'm on the East Coast of the United States. I'm on social media because I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. I haven't worked a job in 9 years. I couldn't find a job, and I was broke, unemployed, in foreclosure. I was drowning in $250,000 of debt. I had no idea how I was going to get myself out of this mess. If I hadn't found this industry, I don't think I'd still have my house. I've had days where I've made more money in a day than I made in a month when I still work in a job. So if you got questions, drop them. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Juliana. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. How much time do you spend? Good morning, Wendy. If anybody's got a question, drop in the comments. If you have something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to do a training on one of these. If it's something I've done, because I don't think you can train or teach on stuff you haven't done. But if I haven't done it, I'm pretty sure I can give you a resource, because if you're trying to figure something out, you want to get around somebody who's done it so you can learn from them. Because if you're trying to figure out something new, if you're not in the mindset that you're going to have to invest time and money to learn it. And I did try doing this by myself for a whole year, and I didn't make any money. Very difficult. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have training. I didn't have a system. I was sending traffic, good morning, Andrea, to a replicated website, which you never want to do. Good morning. I can't see that. Yeah, TikTok. I mean, if anybody wants to like the live, when they like the live, TikTok shows me that. YouTube does not. I can see when I end this, like the software I do is really cool. It uploads the whole video onto my YouTube channel, the piece of content. I can see if anybody liked it, but they don't say who. Good morning, Lucy. Good morning, B. Where you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. Good morning, Linda. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. Good morning, David. Good morning, user 7728. Where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. Good morning, Norma. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia, and it's about a 2-hour, good morning, B, 2 to 3 hour drive to New York City from where I'm at. You can make it there in that time. Good morning. Is it My Tour 31? Is that what people call you? So if anybody has any questions, drop them in the comments. If there's something you're trying to figure out. I do believe And I say, why are you on social media? Most people don't answer. Good morning, John. I do believe most of you, good morning, is it Sin, are on social media because you're either looking for a way to make money from home. Good morning, Perry. Or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And you can't do this by yourself. And I spent a whole year trying. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have training. I didn't have a system. And I spent $3,000 on pay-per-click ads and I didn't make any money. Good morning, Gabriella. Good morning. And do people call you Gabby? Good morning, Keister. 19CH. What do people call you? I'm assuming that's what you just set your account up. Good morning, Melva. Good morning, Nikki. Where are you coming in from? I'd love to know why you're on social media. Good morning, Louisa. How much time a day do you spend on social media? I spend about 3 hours, but that's all productive. And actually, I'm making money when I'm on social media. TikTok pays me to do these live streams. And I had a guy, good morning, David, that was honest and said he spends 6 hours a day on social media. Why not get paid for it? Good morning, Hal. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Lane Blue 7. Is that what people call you? And if anybody wants to like the live, I'd appreciate it. It helps my account out. Good morning, Sonia. Whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel, I appreciate that. Yeah, good morning. Where are you coming in from? And it's Sonia Marlborough. Is that your whole full name? And it's funny because people are setting up accounts. They don't have their name in it. Good morning, Matt Drestra. If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I apologize for something. And you're not putting your name on it. Some people don't put a picture on it. And if you don't put a name on it on TikTok, good morning, Big Steppa. TikTok issues your number. Good morning. Is it Thomas? Good morning, Lane Blue 7. Good morning, Eb. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If anybody wants to like the live, I'd appreciate it. It helps my account out. If anybody has any questions, drop them in the comments. Good morning, Ben. If there's something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to help you out. I'd be glad to do a training on one of these. If it's something I've done, if it's not something I've done, I can probably give you a resource because I don't think it's ethical to train or teach and stuff you haven't done. But I know a lot of people, and I can probably give you a resource. I had somebody that wanted to learn CPA marketing. Good morning, Deb. I've never done that. I know what it is. I know I have an idea how it works, but I have not made money with it. So I don't think it's ethical to train or teach on stuff. Lane Blue, you're there from South Africa. Okay, well, Lane, is that your first name? Is that what people call you? If you want to see what I'm doing, you're on my TikTok account. You can go to the top of my profile. There's a bio there. There's a link there with payudaily.com. That's my website. You can go to that, or you can just put payudaily.com in your website, in your browser, whatever device you're on. Take it in my website, put your email address in. There's 2 videos, watch those, read the page, so you can get an idea and an explanation of what exactly I'm doing. And there's over 56,000 people in our community. You'll get an email from me that will have a link with my PDF, and it's a free PDF that I was talking about this morning, how to launch a business in 5 steps. That PDF will go in more detail. You can click on that. You can download it. You can save it to your computer. That's yours to keep. And if you have any questions after you've gone all through that, you can respond back to my email. I'd be glad to answer any questions you have. Good morning, Leo. Good morning, Logan. Good morning, Jenna. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. And I've been doing this now. It was 14 years in September that I've been doing this. I haven't worked a job in 9 years. Good morning, Anita. Yeah, I've been doing this for 14 years. I've had days in this industry where I've actually made more money in a day than I made in a month in a job, and I cannot make any income guarantees with anybody. Good morning, Daniel, because I don't know what anyone will do. I don't know your work ethic or the time or effort you put into it. You can get this down to 2 hours a day, but there is work involved. And the people, myself included, that anybody you see that's making money, it's because we were coachable, we were consistent, we did the work. And I know I spent a whole year without a mentor, without training, without a proven system, and I didn't make any money. So there's things I have today I wish I had when I started. It would have saved me a lot of time, but I did not. Good morning, Ren. Good morning, Casey. But this business really is simple. Anybody can do it. It's a high income skill you can learn in 2 hours. Good morning, Tim. Um, but to master it, it's something like anything else. You have to do it every day to master something. Good morning, Brian. And when I say every day, I mean 7 days a week. And a lot of people aren't willing to put that in. And athletes, professional athletes, practice every day, even in the off season. I mean, that's the only way you can really get good at something. And the more you do something, the better you get, and the faster you get. So that's what the benefits you get from doing something every single day. Good morning, BJ. Good morning, Maria. It is a high income skill, but to do it to get really good, and you really in this industry, you only have to really get good at one thing, and you can make a lot of money. Um, good morning, oops, wrong planet. What do people call you? Funny, some of the things that people name their accounts on. Good morning, Toki. What do people call you? And I do believe people are putting, rather than their name, something else that you're doing or that you like. Good morning, Manny. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'm on the East Coast of the United States. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. Good morning, Tamara. Where are you coming in from? Good morning, Ray. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know what part of the world you're from. Good morning, user 2926. And that's what that person's account with no picture and the long number. That's what TikTok does. When you set up an account, you don't put a name. They assign you a user number. Good morning, Hazmat. They just assign, it's a very long number. And a lot of people are setting accounts up like that. They don't put their picture. And if you're using social media for anything, you want to set your account up so people know who you are. They can put a good picture. They want to see your face with all the fake accounts. And then now AI. Joshua, you're from Texas. What part of Texas, Joshua? I have family in Houston and Dallas. And actually, my mentor and her partner, they just bought I think it's a high-rise condo in Dallas. She's an avid Dallas Cowboy fan, and she has season tickets. So whenever Dallas is playing at home, they're in Dallas. She's from Kansas. She has a house she completely gutted and redid in Kansas. And now they've got the place in Dallas. Good morning, Rose. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Yeah, and I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, they play tomorrow. I'm not a big Dallas fan. When I found that, good morning, Joseph. Good morning, Benny. When I found that you're in Austin, I heard Austin's nice. I've never been there. She's an avid, when I found that out, Dallas Cowboy fan. I think all her kids are, and her partner, because I've seen them all running around with cowboy shirts. Good morning, Trisha. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Jose. Good morning, Trusted Seller. What do you sell on Trusted Seller? And I'm seeing your accounts about that. We got another user, 8279. What's your name? And it's funny, and why do you want to, if you've got one of those user accounts, why do you not want to put your name and picture on it? Good morning, Leo. And I know there's a lot of people I've met, they don't want to put their picture up. They don't want to get in camera. Good morning, Leo. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Jamie. They don't want to put a picture up. I mean, and really with all the fake accounts, and now AI, you want to, good morning, is it Robin? Or I'm just going to call you Rob. That's easier. A lot of people out there are making fake accounts. I got people, steal my images, steal my videos. You got to be careful out there. The way you can tell somebody's account is fake is every platform will only give out one exact username. And on TikTok, mine is the real Linda Bomba. If you look at the fake accounts, they've got something in there. There's something extra, an extra letter, an extra number, an extra symbol, a sign or something. And good morning, Albertina. Good morning, user. And there's another one, 4892. And they're taking your images and they're taking videos and putting it on an account that they made, and then they're private messaging people. I never private message people, and they'll start talking about crypto or Forex, try to get money from you. I don't do crypto or Forex, or they try to get you on Telegram or WhatsApp. I don't use either of those platforms. I'm not going to private message you, unless you ask me for a freebie or something, and you get a message from me with a link to go to my website. I don't private message people. And if you want to be careful out there, because if somebody's private messaging you and they're me and they're asking you for money or trying to get you on Telegram or WhatsApp, it's not me. You got to be careful out there. Unfortunately, that exists so much in the space. Somebody hacked my Instagram account. This was somebody that was in a group with me that we all paid to be in that group. She was hacking people's, he or she. And that person ended up hacking my account, went shopping with one of my cards, ran ads, and then deleted my account. Good morning, Joseph. Good morning, Laisama. What do people call you? So be careful out there. I'm not, and that's how you can tell if somebody's account's fake or not. There's no platform's going to give two people the exact same username. And on TikTok, mine is the real Linda Bomba. On Instagram, it's real Linda Bomba. YouTube, I'm not sure about. I think it's harder to set up a fake YouTube account than it is, um, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And maybe they should start charging people, because the people that are setting up fake accounts, they're not going to set up a bunch of fake accounts and pay for them. Good morning, Kitty. Because they're just all about, trying to message people, making you think it's me or somebody else who has a large following or influence, and they're trying to get your money. Good morning, ABZ Marketing. I've seen ABC, but not ABC first. Z like in zoo. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If anybody's got any questions, drop them in the comments. Or if there's something that you're trying to figure out. Good morning, Bert. Bert, I would be happy to see if I can help you out if I've done it. Good morning, Froggy. I could do a training, and not today because I'm getting at the end of my time here. Good morning, Cadro. If I'm not saying that correctly, I apologize. If anybody else wants to like my live, I appreciate it. I can't see who's liked it on YouTube, but I can see good morning, Mafini, on my TikTok account. So I'm going to give this like another minute or so. If nobody has any questions, there's not something, that you think you need some help with, because I'd be happy to help you out with that. I'm going to end this probably in about 30 to 60 seconds because nobody's asking anything. Good morning, Yaya. And the question of the day that no one's answered, Ona, how much time do you spend on social media? Nobody's answered that today. I did have a guy that told me he spends 6 hours on social media. That's a lot of time. Good morning, Snooky. Good morning, Mac. To be on social media. And if you're just scrolling, you're not making any money. When I'm on social media, I'm making money. In fact, TikTok pays me to do these live streams. And I only spend about 3 hours a day. One of them is doing this live stream, which I live stream for like an hour every single day. And he's spending 6 hours scrolling. Why not be getting paid for that? Good morning, Jean. If you're jumping on, where you're coming in from, you can monetize your social media accounts. You can turn them into an ATM. You can turn your phone into an ATM, because most of the stuff I do is from my phone. Now, not all of it. Now, this live stream, because I am on my MacBook Pro on YouTube, I am using my phone to live stream from TikTok. I have software that lets me promote this in 2 places. Good morning, Sassy. Most of the stuff you can do on your phone. You can get this down to 2 hours a day. Good morning, Dale. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. So if nobody has, I'll give it just like another 30 seconds. If nobody has any questions, I'm going to end this. I am here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern. I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good morning, Daily. Since nobody has any questions, I'm going to end this. Tomorrow I'll be back 10 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for jumping on. I'll talk to you later.